Hi everyone, hope you're doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, doctors are on strike and the reasons are obvious. So instead of the government sorting out this problem, we saw the CS for Health, Susan Nakumita, going to the KTN News. And the reason behind this was to go and threaten those doctors who are on strike. So she was serious that you either get back to the work or I'm going to fire you. After all, she claimed that there are so many interns who are not yet employed, and she will go straight forward to start employing those doctors. So the issue here was to instill fear in the health workers who are participating in the protest. But to her shock, doctors are still on the street protesting. So instead of doctors going back to workstation, they decided to go on the street and mock CS Susan Nakumita, demanding that their demand should be met, or if not, the strike is going to continue. And this is the situation. Now, beside this, there is a contradicting statement that is coming from the Chief of Staff in the Office of the President as far as the issue of KMPDU is concerned. Susan Nakumita told us that interns should not be paid because these are students, so it should be free. But what is the head of PS and the Chief of Staff saying on this? It is different. This is what Susan Nakumita said, if I quote her. Remuneration is given to an employee who has offered service on behalf of an employer. Interns are supposed to provide their duty under the supervision of specialists or experts, medical officers. In this case, we are not supposed to speak about remuneration, as these are still students. Wasilipwe chochote. And to make her threat serious, this is what she said. There are 50 interns who have called me and told me they are willing to work without any stipends so they can get their license. Willing to work. Na amesema ni wanafunzi. With that statement, then you listen to what Felix Kosigei is talking about in terms as far as the issue of interns is concerned. You find it a total contradiction from the position of the CS of Health and now the head of public service. Listen to this.
When it comes to the issue of the rates or the salaries, as I mentioned earlier, is that the term intern across the country is a terminology that is in every sector. If you go look at engineers, they are interns, journalists, they are intern journalists, and everybody else. So we were saying, look here, this term intern is known by Kenyans as interns, and those people are earning between 15,000 and 30,000. Now, these other interns that seems to be employees, how do we treat them? Because we want equity, we want fairness, we want we want to attach the title, the job, and the reward be the same. And after they explained intensely, and having been informed and being convinced, the entire team, that the intern doctors are doctors that for many years, for decades, have been employed as like management trainees, only that they are being called interns, which many people always confuse with these others. We said you change so that they can sit in the right place. And therefore these other SRC document was actually a document that will enable any intern at that time, if the normal intern policy that Public Service Commission has and anybody else. That is why it came out. But having had discussions this tonight and realizing that these doctors are even manning hospitals, almost alone, you may have one consultant and so many interns running the hospital for their own, carrying out procedures and the rest. We want to separate the two. But the circular from SRC still remains for any ordinary cadres.
Now we are continuing this panel discussion, but just a quick request. For those who are watching and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. To our returning subscribers, I must say thank you so much. And again to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and back to this discussion. Now, I know there have been a sit down between the Salary and Remuneration Commission, Head of Public Service and the Chief of Staff, Kosigei, and the CS Susan Ahumita, as far as the issue of doctors' strike in this country is concerned. That happened yesterday. We don't know if they are going to meet the agreement they are reaching out to. But beside this, we know doctors are still on strike. It seems they will not call off the strike until their demand has been met. So when Susan Ahumita is busy on TV threatening doctors, these doctors are proving that they will not bow to threats. They will not bow to intimidation. They are not going to surrender. She should proceed and fire those doctors if she want. And when she talk, you wonder sometimes, does she really even understand that this country has a constitution? It has law. There are rules governing this country. How do you fire someone when he's on strike? We are no longer in the Moi era, where at one point doctors were fired, then South Africa hired the same doctors in this country. Today, things are different. You attempt that, you are in court. So doctors knew that whatever she's trying to say, these are empty threats. They have no any meaning, and it is hot air. They knew that. That's why they proceeded to continue with the protest. Saa zingine Ahumita akiongea unashangaa. And even she went to an extent of entering, in fact, is it gate crashing or storming, into a theater room without even the protection gear, just to prove a point that people are at work. Doctors are not in strike. They are working. Operations are going on in hospital. This never sold. The lie never sold. No. So we are seeing a CS who is contradicting Ruto's allies in State House. With this kind of contradiction, what is that? Are they preparing ground to fire? They want that to look very bad in the eyes of Kenyans. Because what she say and what the head of PS is saying is totally different? Or are they realizing that they were wrong? And by the way, there's no one who can advise Ruto in this government, even in that cabinet. Because if Nakumita will be told to employ doctors, she will do it immediately. But you see, she's being told what to tell the media. And that is exactly what she was doing. But you find out that as she says so, then from that house, different statement contradicting that, making her look bad. Because many Kenyans will see her as a confused CS. Two different statements that contradicts each other. And all is happening under Kenya Kwanza administration. So this is total embarrassment to this administration. So in as much CS Nakumita will be coming to tell the public, and this kind of statement, let her also know that in as much she's being fed what to say, there are also people stabbing at her back with the contradicting statements. So which is which? But above all, the doctors are determined to go on strike until their demand has been met. So those threats of I will fire you and all those, this should not be encouraged in such a country where we have had our new constitution in operation for quite good some time. That should never happen. So the only language people have now realized in this country, when you want to speak to William Ruto and this administration, it is just strike. You strike, then you negotiate. But if not, there is no any other way he will talk to you. And that's what's going on. So Susan Nakumisa's threats are empty threats. They have not helped in any way until they have just to get to the table and start negotiation.